As the sun shines in all of my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of?
Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So today I am back with the hair tutorial for these boho locks. You guys know I couldn't stay away from the locks for too long. If you guys are new here, I was locked for 3 years and I've been lock free for maybe like 5 months now. But even before I locked my natural hair, I was a faux lock, boho lock, goddess lock type of girl. I just always loved the aesthetic of locks. So for this new year, I decided to go into another protective style and I decided to go back to what I know best, which is the boho goddess locks. Y'all, I love the way that this look turned out. It's so full. I love the color. This look really reminds me of the mermaid locks that I did last year in the spring and summertime, from like the color, the boho-ness. I love this look, y'all. I'm super excited. So happy I decided to do this style. So I am going to walk you guys through the process that I used to achieve this look. So this look was created with a mixture of synthetic and human hair. Everything that I used to create this style, I actually already had at home in my little hair collection. My goal was to create a style without having to go to the beauty supply and purchase any hair, and I challenge y'all to do that too. I know a lot of us were always in our hair purchasing hair. It's really easy to like accumulate a bunch of different leftover hair from various styles, and so I used all the leftovers from all my various styles to create this look. I am going to do my best to either link the products that I used or link recommendations. Let me know what you guys think of this look and let's get into this video. So for this style, you need some type of pre-made crochet locks. I have these synthetic goddess locks that I purchased off of Amazon a couple of years ago and I still had a bunch left over. I also had a pack and a half of Cuban twist hair, or you can use Marley hair, and then I also found some spring twist hair in my collection too, so I used kind of a combination of both of these. And then I also had a bunch of scrap pieces left over from curly bundles. I also had some bulk curly hair, and I used a combination of all of this. So I went ahead and pre-parted my hair off camera. I did medium size freestyle curved parting. I'm going for like a messy boho look, and I feel like the freestyle curved parting adds to the look opposed to doing like really precise square parting. So for each section, I went ahead and braided my hair down a couple of inches. Then I'm going to take my crochet lock and I'm going to take a crochet hook and I'm going to loop the hook through the crochet lock. And then I'm going to take that hook and use it to loop the crochet lock through a piece of my braid. And then I'm going to continue braiding my natural hair down, or you can twist to the end, whatever is easiest for you. I like this method opposed to crocheting the lock through the base of the braid because I feel like it's less tension and it makes it look less bulky when it's time to wrap. And again, I used a mixture of the spring twist hair and the Cuban hair to wrap. Spring twist is usually my preference for wrapping, but I wanted to keep my roots dark, so for most of my head I did use the Cuban twist hair. So the Cuban hair comes pre-separated, so for each piece of hair I did cut it in half, and then I also separated each half into 2 pieces. And then for the spring twist hair, I cut into little sections like this. And for my curly hair, I used about this much for each boho piece that I'm going to add in. Next, I'm going to take a piece of my Cuban twist hair that I cut in half and split, and I'm going to fold it with one short end and a longer end, and I lay the shorter end against my natural braid, and then I'm going to begin wrapping that longer end around the base. You can crochet this piece through the base of your braid for more security. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This time I didn't, just because I didn't feel like it, and I feel like if you wrap it tight enough, you really don't need to crochet it through the base. Then to feed in my curly pieces, I'm going to take a curly piece and just lay it against that crochet lock, and I leave a little bit of the tip sticking out, and then I'm going to continue to wrap for about 2 to 3 times around, and then I'm going to fold that little piece down and I'm going to continue to wrap to tuck it, and then after I wrap 2 or more times, I'm going to take the long piece of the curly hair and pull it out the way, and then I'm going to continue wrapping down. So back in the day, I used to just continue wrapping until I passed my natural hair, but depending on how long your natural hair is, that can be very time consuming. So what I like to do now is once I get to a nice spot, I'm going to fold my natural hair up and then I'm going to tuck it and continue wrapping. And this method shortens the time significantly and it makes it easier to find your hair when it's time to take it down. I have a client with really long hair and she loves when I do this method for her faux locks. She says the takedown process is always super easy. And then as I wrap down, I'm going to feed in more curly pieces like I did at the top. I added about 2 to 3 pieces per lock, but you can add as little or as much as you want. And then to secure, I'm just going to continue wrapping until I run out of that Cuban twist hair. And once I get low, I'm going to tie a little knot and then wrap that last little piece, palm roll it, and we are good to go. So depending on the style of crochet locks you use, you can stop here, but my crochet locks were super long and I wanted my curly ends to be a little bit softer with human hair. So what I'm going to do is cut the crochet lock to a comfortable length for me, and then I'm going to unravel the end a little bit, take a piece of my curly hair, and then I'm going to braid the curly hair into the ends of the crochet lock. Again, this is completely optional, but I just prefer the look of the human hair better than how just like the synthetic curly ends looked. And then lastly, I'm going to take a little piece of the spring twist hair that we cut earlier, and I'm just going to wrap that around the ends to hide that braid and palm roll it to secure it, basically how I did before, and there you have it. So if you're familiar with doing faux locks, this method really isn't much different than the standard method. I feel like the only main difference is just adding in the boho pieces, and if you know how to do your own faux locks, this process is pretty easy and straightforward. I also think that this is a great alternative if you like the look and feel and quality of human hair handmade locks. I was almost close to purchasing like some human hair handmade crochet locks off of Etsy, but I'm like, I really don't want to dish out all of that money. Plus, I had so much hair to work with at home that I feel like I got a pretty similar look. Like, it's not exactly the same, but it is very much customized to what I like and what I prefer. Now, if I was starting with like a fresh batch of hair and I wasn't using like just leftover hair that I had in my storage, then there are definitely things that I would kind of tweak and do differently. Like I would use a different style of faux lock, but overall I think that the look came together and I made it work. And like I said, it's very customized and tailored to fit like my needs and what I enjoy in a faux lock style. And as far as the takedown process, I know people get a little leery when it comes to faux locks because of the takedown process. The biggest advice that I would offer is to take your time. Taking down faux locks is not like taking down box braids. You definitely need patience for one. And one thing that helps me is not wrapping so tightly. So I like to wrap kind of loose because not only does it add texture, but I do feel like once it gets old, it's easier to find your natural hair, your natural braid, and just kind of slip it out. Also, if somebody else is doing your hair, don't be afraid to ask them about the takedown process if they offer a takedown service, and also ask them to show you like the placement of your natural hair. And so here is how it's looking once all of the faux locks are done. It is very big and very wild. I wanted to go like extra boho because sometimes I feel like I don't be adding enough curly pieces. So I was really adding in those curly pieces, but it definitely needed a little like shaping. So I went in with some scissors and I did some cutting and adding layers. So the first thing I did was just like pull all of my hair forward, and I'm going to start snipping the ends. Even though I cut those crochet locks, I think those crochet locks were like 36 inches. It still ended up being super long, way longer than what I wanted it to be. So at first I was just kind of trimming at like the scraggly ends, but that wasn't enough. Off camera I did cut way more just because it was too long. It was very overpowering. I went in and added more layers like after I stood up and looked at myself. So yeah, I didn't show you guys in this video, but definitely when you do styles like this, make sure to go in and just kind of frame it to what fits your face, not necessarily like what other people do, because for me, I definitely need layers to frame my face. Now I'm just going in with the little edge control. This is my Style Factor Edge Booster. Y'all already know, if you've been here, this is like the only edge control that I use. It works well for me, my hair, my edges. And then lastly, I'm just going in with a little foam. I didn't show you guys the full foam down process because, like I said, I did cut more off camera. But after I got my cut to what I wanted, I sprayed it down with some water and some foam. And this is the end result. And I think it came out super pretty. I'm not gonna lie, going into this, I was a little nervous about how this look would turn out since I was using like leftover hair. I really didn't want light hair at first. I wanted just like natural black hair, but I ended up really loving the color. I love the style. I love the look. I think everything just came out super pretty. The style is also super lightweight. There's no major tension at my roots, and since I used human hair, it is a lot easier to maintain. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media platforms, and I will see you beautiful people in my next video. Bye.